Right, well, where to begin, I guess. Welcome to, what is it, vlog 3? It's been a long time, longer than I wanted it to be actually since my last video, which is up there somewhere, which was on my new acquisition, which I actually really like, which is the Yashica Mat 124G. Finally getting somewhere with where I want to be with analog, with that camera, although I'll talk about the next steps later. First thing I'd like to do actually is say Happy New Year, but also thank you. It's been a little bit of a surprise to me to see anybody watch my videos or like them or even subscribe to the channel. And you know, it's a tiny amount of people who have. I think I've got like 17 subscribers just now, but actually the first video I made, nearly 1,000 people have watched that now, and people seem to be responding well to it. Thank you for the comments. Apologies if I haven't responded. There's external stuff going on, which means I don't have a huge amount of time in terms of the social part of having a channel at the moment. But yeah, it's been fun, and it's made me realise that I mean, the videos themselves were, you know, hard to make, but I had fun doing it, so I'm going to keep on doing it and see if I can make it into something larger. So that's part of what this video is about, really. Let's see if I can show you where I am. So I am in a place called Aberdour at the moment, which is just along from where I live, and it's a nice little coastal area on the Fife Coastal Path, and there's lots of interesting things to photograph. You might have actually, if you watched my, now what was it, the little foldable medium format camera, if you saw that video, you'll know that this is an interesting place to be. And right, I'm gonna have to step down, just bear with me. Yeah, so hang on, I'll just show you what I'm seeing just now. It's really lovely. So this is the first of Forth. I don't know if you can see in the distance over there, that's the Forth rail and road bridges over there. Queensferry Crossing and all that. Edinburgh is over there somewhere. You can just make it out. Cramond Island, I think. And over there is a place I used to call Burntisland when I didn't live here, but it's actually Burnt Island. And there's a train over there. It's also, unfortunately, a place I've been to an awful lot, so I always struggle to find something interesting here. But that's the challenge today, because my theme for this vlog is really where to start. So there's an interesting shot just here. Let's have a look. I don't know if you can make that out. I'm intrigued by all of these nooks and crannies and everything, so I think I'm going to photograph these just now. Right, so we're going to go. Why does the screen keep on dimming? It's really annoying. I should say I'm working with my X100V. So yeah, I am trying to figure out or answer the question where to begin today, and getting started when you're struggling to figure out how. The best advice I ever got was actually from my wife, and it was actually in the form of a present, but it was just a notebook, and on the notebook at the front it said "Start where you are." But it was bought as a form of advice because I was struggling to figure out how to start. And so I'm going to start where I am. Where I am at the moment is quite difficult. With chronic fatigue and fibromyalgia, the middle of winter, it's January just now, is a really, really tough period to try and get started. But it's kind of necessary. You need to keep going, so I'm going to start where I am. And that's just kind of physically, mentally as well. It's a difficult time to start. I have, turns out, another set of health issues which are quite stressful. But here's the thing is, photography has always been my meditation. And for some reason, whenever I'm stressed, I don't allow myself the luxury of letting myself sink into it again. So I am using the channel and this video actually as a way to get out of that loop that I've been in for a very long time. If I'm stressed, I stop everything that I like, which is the backwards way of doing things. My photography is hopefully going to be my escape. I just saw a cormorant. That was lovely. You won't have seen it. And yeah, so the plan is to get out every day and start where I am. And hopefully where I am every day is a little bit further on from the previous one. So yeah, that's what I want to be able to say I've done by this time next year. And who knows, maybe I'll have 18 subscribers by then. I don't know. I am seeing something of interest, but I'm not sure if it's going to work for me. I think I'll go for it. I'm interested in these rocks here. Right, let's see what we can do here. I'm actually enjoying these tones an awful lot. Right, let's go. I'm going to drop down a little bit. Okay, let's... I really like the darker rocks over here. So, see if I can get it with Edinburgh in the background. It will be very, very small in the background, but so the other problem I have really is the problem of a blank page, which I'm sure everybody has problems with. There's so many options open to me. This mantra that I've been mentioning all the way through this little vlog is, yeah, start where you are. Just start. I hope you do that too. I hope that if you are having problems knowing where to begin, just start. Just start where you are. I don't particularly find this place exciting, but I've managed to get myself out, and actually I think I might have made some nice images here. I'm not sure, but they will be interesting to me, and it will be part of my process. And you know, the other part, the problem is the inner critic as well. One of the reasons I hadn't made a video for, what is it now, a month and a half maybe, is my inner critic. I keep on thinking to myself, oh my god, that's an embarrassment. I have real problems. That's why I've tried to find a place on my own. I have real problems making videos when people are around me. All of these things. But getting over these things will benefit my life in lots of ways. I've been asked to talk about my work a lot over the years, and fear of public speaking is one of the things that really holds me back. So doing this is a big help. So I need to force myself to carry on and just get it done. One of the other things I did actually was start streaming games, because I'm a gamer, I'm a video gamer, and that really helped. I actually started making gaming videos over the pandemic, just so I could learn how to make videos, with the idea that I would start doing photography ones afterwards. And it's all really helped and fed into one another. So, you know, start where you are. Where I was at the time was stuck indoors without much to photograph, but I could play games. So I started there. I think it's a really good mantra to stick to, because it removes the first point of resistance. Right, that's enough of that. Let's find another picture. Right, so what again I'm interested in this kind of crack in the rock. Maybe this seaweed patch here as well. I'm just finding interest in the patterns. I'm trying to find balance between these three elements. And actually this is an ideal point where the rule of thirds probably doesn't help. Ironically, because there's 3 points that I'm trying to balance out. So I find this balance pleasing. I'm trying to get some detail in the shadows and the rock at the top. I'm going to have to accept a higher ISO than I would normally like. Okay, does that make sense there? I think that makes sense like this. There's nice tonal contrast between the rocks in the foreground and the rocks behind, which might be enough. I thought I might talk about my plans for the year and what to expect from, I guess, my work, the channel itself, and the projects I'm going to work on as well. First things first is I'm gonna try and make a very determined switch to what I like to call intentional photography. It's something I've found frustrating about digital work for quite some time now, which is why I've started experimenting with going back to analog. Those that don't know, I used to do analog a long time ago. I have a degree in photography, and just after I got my degree is when digital started to come on stream, so it was bad timing. But I miss the slow process, the thought processes involved in analog, which are often missing with digital. So whether I'm working in analog or digital, I want it to be more intentional. A lot of my project work will be based on that philosophy. So I will be doing a lot of project work in analog. A lot of my reactive work, if I feel like going out and just making images, it'll be for these vlogs more than anything else, and maybe as a kind of sketchbook for coming back and making analog work. I think that might be actually quite a good idea. So yeah, that's the first thing, is the switch to intentional photography. To be clear, I think there is a space for reactive work, absolutely. And yeah, documentary work, things like that, all have a space for, in quotes, less intentional processes. Reacting to a story, reacting to a place is a great way to figure out how you feel about a place. And so I'm not denigrating that. I just I'm kind of having a reaction against the thousands of images that you end up having to cull with digital work, and I just feel like it's a waste. It's an incredible waste of time. I don't particularly like the idea of leaving it up to AI to choose my best images, and so just thinking a bit more about each image is where I want to be with photography. And it's, for me, it's about establishing a practice, something I've always struggled with, it's a very nebulous concept. It's quite difficult to figure out what it means to me particularly, but I want to figure that out this year. As far as the channel goes, I'll be doing a fair bit of gear stuff, but I want to mostly be working on making videos about my projects. But in terms of gear, I won't just be focusing on analog. I'll be doing some digital stuff, mostly exploring options for my Fuji cameras. I have an X-T4 which I don't use enough, and my X100V is far too easy to use, so I end up taking that. If I'm going to take a camera, I end up kind of taking that. So I'm going to be exploring the use of those cameras in some of my videos. I'm going to be exploring the kind of gear you can get for them, which is an interesting thing actually, especially with the things like the TT Artisan lenses. I'm intrigued by those, so I might end up doing some of that. In terms of analog, I've got some serious learning to do. I've already established where I want to be with my medium format, so I've got my Yashica Mat 124G, which I'll be kind of using to get used to film again. But I have made a serious purchase. I have now got on order. It's probably about 3 weeks away now. I've got a Intrepid 5x4 Mark IV 5x4. I've already got the lens. I've actually got 2 lenses from old 5x4 cameras lying around my house somewhere, and I don't know where they are, but I ordered another one from Ford's, which looks really nice, so I'm gonna do that. I'll do a lot of videos about that actually, so stay tuned for those. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the 5x4 thing. That is going to occupy my mind 100% when I'm working, and that's what I need. I am finding things like the X100V is an amazing camera, but it does too much for me and leaves me with a little bit too much spare bandwidth. So I'm really looking forward to getting to grips with large format once again. I do have problems, I guess, with, give you a shot of the view behind me here. I do have problems with the hybrid process. Not problems, I'm struggling to get my head around it a little bit, because my images are going to end up as digital anyway. I see the point of working analog, you know, 100% see the point, but there's a small part of the back of my brain that's saying, well, you can't use a darkroom. I've got no access to a darkroom, so you're going to have to go digital at some point. So why are you doing this? Yet I ignore that little git and get on with it. So maybe I'll do a video about that as well, because I think a lot of people get irate when people talk about that analog in that way, but it's a valid and difficult subject to get to grips with, and I think it needs to be acknowledged and put to bed. On top of that, I'm going to be making serious projects. I want to rebuild my portfolio. The pandemic really kind of destroyed that. I let my website just expire, and my work is kind of out of date now, and so I need to build up my portfolio again. I want another exhibition. I've had two solo exhibitions. I've exhibited an image internationally. I've exhibited an image in the Retina Festival when it was still going in Edinburgh, which was an internationally renowned festival. And I've had a couple of joint exhibitions as well, and it's always been very well received, but I always work too slowly, and it takes me a long time to persuade myself that I'm worthy of having an exhibition. So I want to prove to myself that I can put together a body of work faster than I normally do, because a lot of the delay generally is psychological. It's a lack of confidence, which is what this is all about. In the past I did actually I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it behind me, but the fourth bridge is behind me. I did a very long-term project on those. I'll maybe put a couple of images of that on while I'm talking about this. And that was very well received, but it's out of date now because there's a new bridge. So I am kind of feeling the urge to go and do something about those, and I'd really like to do that large format. So what I might do is plan that for later in the year, so that I am confident that I'm going to get the kind of image quality I need to do that work, and yeah, see how it goes. I want to make those images really big. I'm wanting to make a small selection of images and make them huge. Got some other ideas. There's short projects for things locally, and again, I'm keeping it local at the moment, just because, you know, the pandemic is still cursing us, so I want to keep this stuff local. But there is another project that I've been doing further afield which got cut short in 2020. I've been doing work on a thing called the Clutie Wells. I'll put those images up as well. And I don't know if I'm finished. I had an exhibition, but I don't know if that work is finished, because there are other things about that phenomenon that I'd like to explore, and I haven't been able to because I can't travel. So, or certainly I don't feel safe to travel, and I'm hoping that either this year or 2023 I'll be able to get back to that. So yeah, I've got plans to do that as well. I know, I'm going to take the obvious image as well. I've taken this image so many times. So let's see, I need to see it myself, but hopefully you can see the screen. Let's get it, screen, yeah, there's the... Right, so this old structure here is interesting. I can't remember if it's World War I or World War II. I think World War II. This was a military research base, and that building was instrumental in developing, I guess, modern sonar technologies for detecting submarines and the like. It's almost entirely destroyed now, this building here. So every time I come here, I'm trying to get the right image. This might be one that I finally settle with 5x4 actually. Let's make it a little bit darker. Let's get it level. Thing is, the building itself is not level, so it always looks slightly off. One of the other things I have to do, because this year I want to get my business back up and running. I just, like I say, I let it all slide in 2020, so I have to set up a new website, which I'm in the process of doing at the moment. So I've got to get that up and running so that I can start posting my work, and attached to that will be a blog. I've got one at the moment, but it's just a WordPress thing. It doesn't have its own URL or anything like that. So the end of this month, hopefully all of that will be sorted out, and I'll maybe post on that. If you're interested in seeing when that goes live, follow Pixel Christie on Instagram. That's another thing I'm planning to do, is start using Instagram a bit more. I know it's not the best place for photographers anymore, but it's still a place, so I'm going to do that. I want to start selling my work in the form of prints as well. That's something that, as a fine art photographer, I should be doing. And I've had a mental block about it for many years, so this is the year that I intend to get past that and start doing it. There's a few things in place now which enable me to do it a lot easier, or more easily. So yeah, be doing that as well. And I think that's it. Okay, so that's it. Just driving home now. Thanks so much for watching if you've got this far. Please do have a look at the other videos I've made. One of the things I'm going to try and do is try and make my videos shorter. I know I make them too long, but I'm a chatterbox when I get going, so there's that. I have to work on that. Any tips on how I best do that from any experienced YouTubers would be lovely. Thanks so much for watching. Please do have a look at the rest of my videos. There's not many at the moment. I'm going to make sure that the gap isn't, certainly as long as next week goes well, I'm going to try and make sure that the gap isn't quite as big between videos for the next one. I'd love to know, actually, are you in the same boat? Do you find getting started to be the most difficult thing? How do you make yourself get over that hump? How do you get over that hump? Also, do you have any plans for this year? What are you doing? Are you trying to sell your work? Are you working on any big projects? I'd love to know. Just let me know down in the comments. Feel free to connect on Instagram. And yeah, stay safe, stay well, stay happy, and keep making work.